and welcome to Tech2 for Dummies, episode 1. This is the first episode in a new series that I'm going to present here on YouTube. That's basically about the Tech2. So today's video is about what, why and how. And we're also going to end the video with a programming sequence on one of my cars. So you will be able to see that. At first, what is the Tech2? The Tech2 is a diagnostic tool from General Motors. It has the possibility of diagnosing all the General Motors, or most of the General Motors brands, such as the Saab. So that is what we're focusing on. That's only the Saab brand. So before the Tech2 there was actually something called Tech1, and the Tech2 it saw its days in the beginning of the 80s, I think, and before that it was the Tech1. And after the Tech2, for the General Motor vehicles, there is another tool, and it's unofficially it should be Tech3, but it's actually called MDI, and that's another diagnostic tool. It doesn't look the same as the Tech2. It doesn't have this display and this keypad. It's more of a interface between the car and the laptop. And that's what they use on the model 95s that came out in 2010. Also called the next generation 95. Really nice car. So that's what the Tech2 is about. And to show you who don't know what the tool looks like, here you have it. As you see, it's quite a big tool with a display and keypad, cable arrangements with different connectors depending on what type of vehicle you're connected to. You have interface here on the side. That's for connecting it to a PC. So you can actually remote control the Tech2 from a computer. And then on the top you have this cover that's maybe it's difficult to see. You have the slot here for the PCMCIA card. You can actually have two cards at the same time, and a PCMCIA card is a old fashioned way of storing data, and on the card itself you have all the information you need to make a diagnostic on the car and to change some of the settings in the car. So you can have two at the same time. There are different cards with different versions. So for my setup I use version 148, and I have an English card and I have a Swedish card. I think you have seen one of my previous videos where I changed the text on the Turbo X, the welcome text. There I have the Swedish cards, but for the coming videos I will use the English card. So that will make it a lot easier for you to understand. So that's the Tech2, what it looks like. Kind of rigid device, lot of plastics and a really thick cable. And the Tech2 can be used as a standalone product on certain year models and on certain models, brands. We're focusing on Saab here, so we have the old generation 95 between 98 and 2005 that can handle the Tech2 as a standalone tool, so you don't need anything else. On the other hand, we have the Tech2 plus a candy module, and the candy module, that's this It's something you connect between the Tech2 and the car. So it basically transforms the signals between the car and the tool, since these models and these year models are a bit newer, so they have a different interface. I'm not going into this more in detail because then it gets perhaps too complex, as this is Tech2 for dummies, not for experts. Okay, so you need the Tech2 and the Candy module for the next generation 9.3, 03 to 14, and for the old generation 9.5, 06 to 10. And only the Tech2 for the old generation 9.5, 98 to 2005. It will work on some other Saab models as well, but I'm not going to focus on that. This is for these cars only. If you want to know what other cars you can connect the tool to, you can Google it. Just Google Saab Tech2 and so on. So that's what. Why do we need this tool? It's actually for diagnosing the car, to see what kind of problem you have, if you have a problem. You may have gotten a indication light on the instrument cluster telling you that there is something wrong. You need to find out what is wrong. You can do this with much cheaper tools, this Bluetooth tool, but you can also do it with the Tech2. And the Tech2 will present these issues in a different way, more detailed to the brand, and explaining exactly what the problem is. On these other tools you get those codes and you need to look up the codes. On the Tech2 you get information directly what the problem is. And also, making a diagnostic of the car is not the only thing you can do. So when you have the Tech2 you can change different settings in the car, make it behave different in some ways, turning on and off things. As you will see by the end of the video, I will do a demonstration of this on one of the cars. So that's why. Diagnostic and to change settings in the car. How? Yeah, you can connect this to the car and you make the settings you want. You can control this via a PC, of course, with software, so you can remote control the Tech2. And this is also communicating over the interface that the car has built in, of course, via the cable. So, to sum up the presentation here, what? Diagnostic tool, Tech2, from the 80s, kind of old one, still used today in the dealerships, because that's the only tool available for these brands. Why diagnostic and change settings? It's kind of nice to have this tool on your own to make adjustments. You don't need to go to the dealership or the garage to do this, because they can charge you something between 30 or 50 euros an hour for doing this. And how? Directly with the car or remote control via a PC. And if you're going to do this, you need to have something to connect the Tech2 to the PC. So you have this that plugs into the instrument, and you have to get this adapter for USB. And this is kind of sensitive because there are several adapters around on the internet, and some of them they don't work properly with the tool. So if you're interested in this, I can give you some recommendation on the adapter to purchase if you want. So this is the PCM-CIA card I was talking about before, that you put inside the unit here in the slot. Now I have one card already. We can put this in as well, but I'm not going to do that now. I have the English card installed in the Tech2 already, as you will see. So, for the 9.3, to do certain things you need something that's called security access, and security access, it can only be obtained when you connect the Tech2 to your computer via this cable I showed you. And when you connect the Tech2 to the 9.3 and you try to do something, it will ask you to get security access. And then you go back to your computer, you connect the Tech2 to the computer, and you run this software that's called TIS. And via the TIS you connect the Tech2 to the TIS software, and then you approve the security access question when you connect the tool and you start communicating. So that's why you need security access. You can't really do everything from the beginning. That's something we will look at later in this season of Tech2 for Dummies. I'm not going to show you that right now. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so I hope you can see the instrument now. I tried to adjust the lighting in here and the distance between the tool and the camera. So I have started the unit up, and as you can see it says Tech2, 32 megabyte of space on the storage card, and it says press enter to continue, software version 148, that's the latest, Saab Automobile AB. And it says press enter to continue, so let's press enter. Then we come into a main menu. It says Diagnostics, Service, Programming System, Tool Options, Diagnostic Strategy, and Release Notes. I'm currently connected to my Turbo X, and that's the 9.3 2008. At first I want to show you how to do the diagnostics. So let's go into F0. And we pick the model, it's 2008, and it's a 9.3. And here we have the possibility of choosing which area of the car we are interested in. I'm going to go to all, because I want to know all the different codes that could exist in the system. And here we have different options, and I'm not going to go into the other ones at the moment. I'm going to do the diagnostic trouble codes, the DTC. So I'm pressing enter again. And enter. So it says key not in on position, so I'm going to turn on the ignition key to on. And now it starts checking the different modules in the car for codes. As you can see, it's quite fast. And that's because this has a different interface than the older generation 9.5s that are between 98 and 2005. Those take a bit longer to check. And now it's done. It says key not in lock position, so let's put the key in lock position. Okay, so there are no codes. Okay, the beeping behind is the key that's still in the ignition in the car. So let's take that out. So no problem in the car, that's great. That's always nice to know. So let's exit, let's move back. And to show you all again with the keypad available, I will just zoom out a bit and do the other modification that I talked about. So we want to do a change in the car. I have it currently configured with a locking, or should I say unlocking mechanism. So when the car is locked and I press the unlock button, it only unlocks the driver door. It keeps the other ones locked, and that's kind of a safety feature. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to turn this off so that when I press the unlock button, all the doors will unlock. Okay, so let's do the programming of the car. I'm going to change the the unlock mechanism. Then I go into Diagnostics. I choose the model year, it's 2008, and it's the 9.3, and it's in body. And here we have different categories depending on what we want to do. So today we're going to go into the locking mechanism, so therefore I choose locking, and this function is under the remote control function. So now it's checking the key position, I have the ignition turned on, and here I have the opportunity to either read the values or make adjustments. I'm going to make adjustments, and here you have to choose the unlock logic, because that's the thing we want to do. And here it shows current setting and desired setting. So the current setting is driver door and fuel lid at the first press. Desired settings, driver door and fuel lid at the first press. I'm going to change this to another desired setting by pressing the button change. So now I have all at first press. So when I push the unlock button on the remote, I will have all the doors unlocked. I'm going to push OK to program this, and as you see, the programming was very fast, and now we have the current setting all at first press. So I'm going to try this out and see that the car can unlock all the doors at once. And I just tested, and everything works fine. When I push the unlock button, all the doors unlock at the same time. That's what I wanted to do, what I wanted to change today. So this was the first video in the Tech2 Dummy School on how to change different things in the car. That wasn't too difficult, was it? So one final question, the Tech2 tool. Either you can go buy a original, used, from a, I don't know, car dealer, or go online, check, or you can just Google the Tech2 clone, and you get so many results. You have to dig through all the results and just pick one and try and see what happens. If it works okay or not, there are no guarantees when it comes to these clones. And the different software cards you can buy, I suggest you go and Google them as well. You Google the PCMCIA card for the Tech2, and you get results with all the General Motors, different brands and models. So, if you liked the video today, the Tech2 for Dummies episode 1, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions about the Tech2, just put them in the comments section, and I will try to answer them as much as I can, or dig out the information for you. So put them in the comments section below. Also, if there is something you would like to see in the next episode. And it's not just the 9.3. We have the 9.5 as well. So if you have any questions or want to see something related to the 9.5, that's okay as well. Both the 9.5 and the 9.3. So until next time, take care. Please like and subscribe. See you guys. Bye.